DmC Devil May Cry. Just going to try to adjust some of the settings. I cannot adjust the settings. So instead, we're just going to jump straight into the game. I didn't plan playing this back to back this, but I really just want to keep going. Right at the end, so. Which was it? Devil's Dalliance and Mr. Lost Soul, which I think is in that last room. The Plan had Mr. Key and a Gate, and the Furnace of Souls and Mr. Lost Soul. So for you guys' sake, because you probably, if you're watching this, just watched me play the other mission a second ago, I'm instead going to play. I also said we'd stick with Neo Dante for the whole thing, but I'll stick with Neo Dante for the ending scenes. I'm going to play the Plan now because you just watched me do the other. I'm going to get all the collectibles before I go into the last two missions because they are just boss battles. And I want to end the series on the boss battle, obviously.
Who knows how many people died out there? Hundreds of thousands.
No one cares, Dante.
My cross to bear.
Or you, Virgil.
Yeah.
So a key and a gate.
Once Wendy sees you, all hell will break loose. Stay close to the tower entrance.
That's a nothing. Nothing. In the main game, I resolved to never use health items because I'm too good for that. I'm too much of a hardcore gamer. I'm not some filthy casual that needs to use health items in DmC. However, while I'm fucking about doing this, deliberately hurting myself with because if it saves us all some time, I will use health items. Maybe all the way back in. I highly doubt there is anything in this opening section because it seems like it's actually in HD makes it even worse. Looking at all that scenery stuff, it gets way too high detail. It's really bad. There's nothing over there. We're here now. Nothing in the other direction. So I can simply an area to area. I don't see where I'm supposed to go here, so surrender. Never.
The gates will seal. Dante,
I will get that
you need
last
to keep
key
them
in
busy
game.
while Virgil makes his way into the tower.
Skip cutscene, skip cutscenes. Skip cutscene also. I feel like I know where in this mission it is, but
Make a
I
break
need
for
to
the
look
main
everywhere in
entrance
case I'm wrong.
before it seals itself
Because
shut.
if I get to where I think it
You'll
is
have
and
a
it's
few
not there,
seconds at best.
we fucked. And we have to do it again. What? Can I get my what? Is there a thing here? There is not a thing here. Do I have to do it again if I fail? I don't mind, but I know you guys will. So. Well, that's really exciting to fail state, wasn't it? What do I lose from that? Did I even lose health?
Make a break for the main entrance before it seals itself shut. You'll have a few seconds at best.
There's nothing back there. I'll have 30 seconds to be precise. It's actually quite a while in this context. But not when I'm looking for things. No. I'm pretty sure it's not out here, so I'm just going to go. What do you mean I can't go through there? Oh, there was only one entrance. It's through the middle. Maybe. Let's see if I lose health. Everyone wants? I don't even lose health. I just
Make
have
a
to do
break
that
for the
anyway.
main entrance
They just get
before
rid of the
it
hit
seals
and
itself
that's
shut.
effective.
You'll have a few seconds at best. Once
Oh, look
inside,
at that, we got it. That seemed easier than last time.
Virgil will knock out the internal camera system. Mundus won't be able to see where you are.
Right. It's probably going to be quite boring for some of you to watch, because it's just me looking for secrets. Look off, Virgil. No one knows. 300.
The corporate offices
By that I mean this
are heavily
version. The original
defended.
version everybody
One
likes.
exception is floor 87, which is unoccupied. There, we will reunite with
I
Virgil.
went here last time, but let's double check I got it. I think this is where the first key was last time. No, it's where the lost soul was. No, it wasn't. It was the key. It was definitely the key. Well, there's two. There's already a secret there, so there's not a secret there. Stupid spinny shit. I wish there was more architectural stuff in this. I wish there was more city damage and like jumping between actual scenery instead of just the kind of hellscape that you play the whole game in. Like I said, I wish there was more
Good,
Earth rather than Limbo.
Good.
Here you'll split. Dante.
We've just met up. We're not
Dante,
speaking.
you will have to cross a sky bridge to get into the East Wing. You will find the sky bridge along this path.
Is there anything
Virgil
here
will take
about
over the servers in the
restructuring?
West Wing. He'll clear the way for you.
Alright. It still looks like a thing, but it's not. Okay, so nothing here. Pretty certain there's nothing here. We'll pick these up because we're still trying to get all the upgrades if we can. I don't have enough to get the Devil Trigger maxed, but I've used it once since I've unlocked it. And that was on the hardest fight in the game, so. Which again, I apologise. So. 'Cause As if I got triple S from doing that. That drawing buildings thing that I said last time is amazing. I love it. I kind of wish they'd made it an aesthetic through more of the game.
Security going into the East Wing is tight. You'll find yourself blocked. So don't try to cross it just yet.
Wait, skip. Go. Definitely no K in here.
Floor 87.
Sorry.
It's the finance wing. One day, all of humanity will be enslaved to Mundus, like these poor souls.
So this is corporate hell.
From here,
I got the
you'll
concept
need to
of
make
the
your way
dream.
up to the
That's
next
okay.
floor.
I kind of want to see that, to be fair. So that's where I came from. That's the way up. This is just nothing. Bits and bugs. They look way scarier in the concept art. I'll go through it when I finish the game, but they look way, way scarier. Because they actually have detail on them, unless they've got nothing. Shame, Reagan. Another one of a myriad of strange design decisions taken into this game. To make these into like kind of nothing, just kind of weird spiders. If such a thing could exist. The rage concept art too. I hate the rages. I think they're an awful enemy. I think we decided this was a nothing. But we were wrong because it's a key. So I didn't know where that was. But the gate was probably still where I thought they were. I actually feel that the Devil Trigger was probably designed more for these kind of shit than the actual combat. Because little puzzle things like that make
What did she
sense to have
say?
a time stop.
Floor
The actual game
105.
it doesn't
Sky
add
Bridge?
anything.
Yeah.
That would have been another cool thing if your maybe if your demon daughter was essentially a time machine.
You want floor 106. Whatever you do, don't get out of floor 105. It's heavily infested.
Oh, shit.
So I went left last time, let's go right this time.
Okay. Not that way then.
Or I guess left because fuck. Yeah, in fact, you know what? If you're going to do time stop mechanics, you need to have some cool shit with them. Admittedly, that wasn't as true when this came out, because there weren't that many games that did all that well.
Right. No turning back.
Where now you've got things like Super Time Force Ultra, which, if you haven't played it, is like a platformer where you run around and shoot enemies, fight. But as you go, you have the ability to kind of stop time, and when you die, you go back in time a certain amount of distance. And then at the end, you can watch back what you did in real time. What you got. Triple S. Again. Honestly, I get so many triple S's now that I have all these moves. It's not even funny. But yeah, in Super Time Force Ultra, when you die, you then can go back in time and run as a second body, kind of catching up to your old time. And when you collect it, you get your life back. And you can do that a bunch of times. And then at the end of the level, it lets you watch back what you were actually doing in real time. So it just looks like you kind of flitting in and out of existence. And a bunch of you running over the screen and dodging attacks, getting hit, and then saving your other self from that attack. It's really annoying that they can't be hit stunned when they're in that.
Move up to the next floor.
But yeah, and then it looks amazing at the end when you go back and see everything happening as it did. But with all those different lives and attempts saving each other, then all piled up into a single timeline, it's like the best effect ever. The actual gameplay is is challenging and fun, but just standard platforming and shooting. But that makes it an amazing game because that like clip at the end. It looks so complicated that if you designed a cutscene like that, it would be nonsense. No one would watch it, nobody would understand it. It would just be a bunch of people running around in all kinds of distance. But because you did each and every step of it, and you can keep up with everything that happens, I literally was stood next to it, and it just pushed me in. Because you did it, and you can understand each and every step. I did that last time too. It's amazing. So if you're going to have, and that's the kind of time gameplay that we have these days, at a lower level than that, you just have Bayonet as witch type. So, and that one you can't give this game a pass from because Bayonetta was out when this was released. So the time stop in this looks very, very basic and bare bones and not very interesting compared to the way other games have done it. I think you need some kind of gimmick, whether it's a reward for a correct dodge or it's an after the game or after the mission thing that's just kind of an extra that doesn't add anything necessarily, but is a cool feature. I think you need something like that. When you can hit the enemies right now in the time stop, obviously they react as if they've been hit. That's fine. But it could have been more interesting if you have, say, they didn't react until time resumed. Like, you put your double trigger on and time was stopped until then. So you could kind of, like, run into the middle of 4 enemies that were all stopped. Like, yank them all with the devil arm thing. So that they all flew into the same point, then wait till time starts. They all fly together, and then as they get there, hit them with, like, a caliber or a whatever it's called, tornado that you can do with Aquila. That would look really sick and amazing. You know, like little stuff like that, but you can't do that because it's just... all it does is stop their model, their AI, basically. It may as well just be a cheat code, as much as it is a game.
I know. The demons will have detected your presence in the East Wing. Time to move out.
I would have made that first time, but it knocked me out. I don't know so much. Sensational again. I think Triple S so many times. It's not even funny. For people who haven't played this or any of the Devil May Cry's in particular, I'm not going to play the other games to show you the difference in the difficulty of getting Triple S here to getting Triple S in the old games. I would hit Triple S maybe a handful of times in a playthrough of any other Devil May Cry. In this, it's like it's a handful of times per fight. If the fight lasts long. So the gate is definitely not up to this point in the level. Now we get this laser shit again. Why have it down when I stop it? I'm gonna stop trying to rush it. And we're done. Almost. Because we've got a cool guy to fight.
Fuck off!
I love that he can hit things back. I love that he can hit them back. Kind of wish he had a projectile that I could hit back.
Virgil will meet you by the main elevator.
So I go that way, I go this way. There couldn't be a gate here because there's nowhere to put a gate, right? And yet, if they didn't actually have a devil trigger, like, in mind that would fit seamlessly into the game, they can't not put one in because it's a big part of Devil May Cry. I mean, the obvious answer is just, there we are, got all the health. Double triggers is 1,000 first, right? They couldn't just not put one in. They should have had a Devil trigger, Angel trigger, and then Nephilim trigger. But if they're just going to put one in, that's fine. But it can't just be a non-entity like it is.
Over here.
Even if it's not useful in combat or fun, if it has some other cool effects in the game, that's still not great, but you can deal with that.
Seems to underestimated Cat.
If there were more sections where you have to switch between devil triggered and not devil triggered to traverse icons like that, like time stopping, especially since there's so many cutscenes like that, it would be okay.
Take the elevator up to floor 154.
Here, Dante, take this. I took it off a security guard.
I'm trying to decide if it's the biggest disappointment in this game. It clearly isn't. It's the biggest disappointment is in the DLC. But, in fact, you know what? The biggest disappointment is the DLC. But out of everything else...
Find the West Wing Sky Bridge.
There's no gates or anything in here. That's for sure. Just double check every throw. Okay. That is the last thing I need also. Good. Identical combo to the one I killed him with last time. It's fairly predictable. That's the other thing about this game. And the concept art for Dante. I seem to be getting them a surprising amount. I thought by the end of the game I'd start to run out of concept art triggers. In the sense that I thought I would stop getting those concept art because I'd run out of, like, unlockable shit to do. Now that I know I have that, I'm using it a lot more. Yep. I might actually get the... is that just me pressing my thing? Let that happen. Okay. Yeah, I might get the equivalent of Stinger for Cyrus as well. That's the way to go, so we're going this way. There was a, I believe, Lost Soul here, which I got. Wow. It can't be here, right? Because this is like a QTE cutscene corridor.
Things will be pretty crazy here. You'll have to go up 5 stories of hell. I hope you make it. It's gonna be tough.
Open this door again. Pick off everything in here. Might ask why I'm bothering, because why not? It's a part of the game and I'm playing the game, so I'm going to do it. The elevator is the way forward, so we need to find the gates. There it is. This is where I thought it was, to be fair. Couldn't remember if it was this mission or another one where I'd seen it, but obviously it has to be this one. Kill all enemies with a time limit, and he's only take damage while the demon evade damage bonus. I don't have the demon evade damage bonus. Do I? No, let me see. No, I don't have the bonus that I need to do it. Well, that's the worst thing in the world. This is at least easy as shit once I get it. Well, that's fucking bullshit, isn't it? Let's fucking leave then. Wait, no. Can I go? I can't go back because it locked the thing that I need in order to unlock the secret mission behind a corridor that I can't progress back. So no, I have to just quit the game. Well, that's a lot of shit. Devil's Dalliance we did last time. It's the one in the plan. Remember that, guys. I'll just speedrun it next time I go. Let's do Furnace of Souls and try to find that stupid thing. So what of these do I not use ever? Payoff, never used once. Demon Evade. Kicker used once, never intentionally. Demon Evade. Stick with that full, stick with that full. Stick with that where it is. Alright. Wait, did it checkpoint me on the last? Damn, it must have checkpointed me. No, we'll do it again then. Why not? We'll do it live. As Bill O'Reilly / Bob Barnes would say. Alright, looking for a lost soul. Why am I an idiot? Why do I do these things? Oh, this is the slowest thing in the world. I'd briefly forgotten what mission it was, I was just replaying. Fuck off. Just do it here while I'm just running anyway. Anybody see it? If you do, raise your hand. Wait, there's a way to... Really? Oh, there it is. Okay, well... We did it, guys. We did it. Now let's get out of here since we know what that is if we need to go back. So... There is a lost door somewhere in the devil's... a lost soul somewhere in the Devil's Dalliance. Do a different skin as well. Let's go for dark Dante with the bow and shit. Yes, I'm sure. So one lost soul. If I fail to get it this time, I will Google where it is. I don't want to Google. I want to try and do it myself. I realise that may not be as entertaining for all of you. But that's what we're doing. And you're here still. Honestly, if you've watched this far, you're probably into this. That may not be the case, but I'm going to assume that it is. Same combo.
Dying to see what all the fuss is about.
Simple. Sensational again. Wait, where's that? I was wondering why the score wasn't going up. It's because it started at triple S and stayed there.
Tell me, Dante, what brings you here? Hello, my beautiful creatures, human and otherwise. From night
If you like to feel competent when you play these games and not just
we have
like
a special event for you tonight.
to learn, this game is a lot more your style than the other Dota guys. That's in there, I think. I don't particularly care about my scores, obviously, because it's very Devil's mission. And the score in this game, full stop, not very important. But maybe we'll get more orbs and things to buy more shit. I don't actually know if that's the case.
Let's change things around a little.
Can you show me where your hidden guy is?
I have created this gauntlet run especially for you,
There was one up
Dante.
there. I can actually buy things fairly regularly now. Oh, 5k. Never mind.
I'm
gonna
not
get
here to
the
play
one.
your games.
Oh? Well, this is my club, and you play by my rules.
Yeah, there was one there. Over there was the secret mission. Yes. And nothing behind it. Nothing around it. Seemingly something above it that could be just a nothing. Although it does look a likely place for my hidden thing to be. Nothing here. Perhaps there's a long and obtuse way for me to get there. Let's go to the other side and double check that. You're probably all sick of the sight of this fucking room. I am too. But hey, it's where we are. We need to get everything. My score depends on high completion rate. And you don't really get anything worthwhile with it. It's a game, isn't it? That's what the game is. Wait, it couldn't just be. It fucking is. I'm an idiot. Well, there's all of those. And we got a Devil Trigger upgrade, so. Let's go back to the main menu. So we should now have everything in every mission. One thing we need to do is the plan again, although we just watched it. Because I need to get... And we're going to go to and stick with Neo Dante with the gold, because I like the gold. Nearly got an upgrade to an ability too. I can get Kicker back. Yeah, this secret mission, we're just going to pretty much speedrun to it the best we possibly can.
My decision. My cross to bear.
Obviously, I will have to kill a lot of enemies along that path.
Once Wendy sees you, all hell will break loose. Stay close to the tower entrance.
Both of them having very little challenge to speak of. These sections are very quick.
The
The
gates
music
will
tells me
seal.
not to surrender again.
Dante.
Kind of expected him to just be doing the attacks when it happened. And there we go. Don't care about score or shit, just get points and go.
Dante, make a break for the main entrance before it seals itself shut.
Already done. He actually knock his guard open with Arbiter and then go straight to the bell.
Virgil will knock out the internal camera
Good to
system. Mundus won't be able to see where you are.
Did I gain the ability point I needed? I did. So we have Demon Evade 1 and 2. I'm going to get Kicker level 2.
The corporate offices are heavily defended. One exception is floor 87, which is unoccupied. There.
Stupid random thing.
Dante, you will have to cross a sky bridge to get into the east wing. You will find the sky bridge along this path.
Right.
Virgil will take over the servers in the west wing. He'll clear the way for you.
I do wish there was an easier way to switch weapons as well besides using the D-pad. I kind of wish double tapping R2 would do it, and then LT for the Angel weapon.
Security going into
I feel
the
like
east
that
wing
would be
is
more
tight.
intuitive because you
You'll
have to
find
take.
yourself
The
blocked.
problem with using the
So
D-pad
don't try to
training
cross
is
it
that
just
if you're
yet.
using, at least if you're using these fingers for the buttons, you have to take your thumb off the left stick, which means you can't be moving for a second when you change it. Which means it's kind
Floor
of
87.
It's not a thing you do
This
mid-fight.
is the finance wing. Those who work
If you can
here are
help
barely
it.
human anymore. They have been corrupted beyond recognition. One day, all of humanity will be enslaved to Mundus, like these poor souls.
So this is corporate hell.
That annoys me that their attack changes direction mid-attack.
From here, you'll need to make your way up to the next floor.
But I don't mind that as much. I'm not going to rip on every little thing that the Juggernaut do, because
What did she say?
they're really good.
Floor 105? Skybridge? Yeah.
Dante is an idiot. He's so stupid.
You want floor 106.
Oh, because
Whatever
I'm
you
not.
do, don't get out of floor 105.
Right.
It's
No
heavily
turning back.
infested.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I like Osiris. I changed my mind. I said I wasn't that close at it. I didn't like it. I changed it. Completely U-turned on it.
Move up to the next floor.
Crop Shredder with Osiris is really actually very good.
Oh, no, you don't.
No, it doesn't unless I get stuck on sooner. Let's get Crop Shredder. Savage. I kind of like the charge up thing as well. I think that's a fun little feature. But you hit enemies enough with them, Osiris starts to glow, and the more it glows, the more damage it does.
I know. The demons will have detected your presence in the East Wing. Time to move out.
Oh, I can just get through, because it didn't hurt me for some reason that time. Nope. Every time. Come on.
Fuck off!
That, by the way, is the demon evade, in case you didn't see it before. Hold R2, do the dodge, you start to glow. Big obvious glow, lets you know when you got it. Also does a little slowdown when you do the dodge, so you know you got it. And then you do way more damage whilst it's active.
Virgil will meet you by the main elevator.
Not as much as more as you used to do, but since they toned it down in the definitive edition, but still pretty good. Devil trigger is 5k. I'm going to check that every single time, just so you all know. Every single time.
Over here.
Yes, I can see you.
Virgil,
Yeah.
you will make your way towards Lindis' chamber in the real world.
Nothing
Dante,
that way.
there's no way through from Limbo, so you'll have to go via the west side. Find the West Wing Sky Bridge.
No threat at all. Anything. Sadistic. It still makes the noise after, doesn't it? It makes another enemy noise. Supposed to go that way, go this, already got the thing at the end, so that's good. There was another one enemy. That looked kind of dumb. And of course we are.
Things will be pretty crazy here. You'll have to go up 5 stories of hell. I hope you make it. It's gonna be tough.
May as well, while I'm here. And now the reason we came all this way. This fucking mission. I mean, thankfully the enemies in here are actually quite easy to beat in themselves, so... No, that's too early. Do it again. Yeah. Too early again. Why just let me happen? No, yeah. I think it's no longer active, so... Come on, do it right. I'm punished for dodging too early. How is that wrong? Okay, thanks. No? I have to leave it really low. There we go. That's all it took. But I have to buy the move. And of course I wouldn't know that the move was there. Or that I need it for this mission. Until then. And that is all the secret missions. Kind of a disappointing end one, really. But it's fine. And so let us leave this horrible, horrible place. And get on with the game. Because we are in endgame now. We are in very endgame. I'm still amazed I got triple S on that one. We've unlocked everything and everything, and so we're onto the face of the demon. We're going Neo, Dante, go, go, go. Can't afford anything, so let's just start the mission. By the way, today's stream will probably be shorter than the last few, because I'm just going to get to the end of the game, obviously finish it, look at the concept art we unlocked, and then that'll be it. I will do another stream in future where I do the DLC, Virgil's Downfall, but but justice for him.
Why did you kill my child?
It's a very legitimate question, but I think it's fairly obvious what the answer should be.
I will ask you again.
This is what I mean about the game shitting itself, because it completely tears itself apart in these last two missions. Is that why?
So it was
Because if so, fine. Right? If that's why he's doing it, then fine.
It was for freedom.
Why though?
You seem to have all the freedom you need. The freedom to murder my heir.
I'm not talking about my freedom.
When did he care about any of this? When did he start to care about any of this? When did he show any concern for anything other than himself and Kat?
Because when I arrived, they had it.
Why would he?
What do you think they did with it?
Also, this is just the kind of blame, like,
They killed. They stopped.
very boring, predictable response from
I brought
the
prosperity.
tyrant being told that tyrant is wrong, and he says, no, Base, you can do good things with it.
What have you
And we don't know if he's lying or not. It might, like, the whole world might have been
besides
completely destroyed by war and violence and famine, and people scratching to live in, like, Fallout-style world. That's so stupid. And Virgil all the time is looking at this going, Dante, what are you talking about? Oh, you're just lying. You're just getting Mundus excited. Yeah, go on, do it.
You're right. It wasn't for mankind. It was.
But we don't know if Mundus is right. He might have been completely lying and that he just took over. It might be that he was genuinely the only reason that anybody's got anything in this world.
Watching it explode into little wet chunks. Hearing you scream like one of your little demon bitches. Priceless.
Forgot we were in that corridor. I also think Mundus doesn't give off enough of like an air to all this. I mean, yeah, he's flying around like Superman and shit. But look at this. That sounds terrible. But this looks like an opening to a fighting game, where these are the actual models that in a minute Dante would throw him off and then it would go round one, fight. Doesn't look like a cutscene. It just looks like Bruce Willis. It just looks like Bruce Willis. Also, Dante clearly is so much weaker in this than the last games. How many times did Dante get impaled straight through the chest? It happens in the opening scene of like every DMC. Except for this, where like his fingers are in me, so I'm screaming in agony. That looks like the least what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean. Graceful. Virgil, let's have a look. Almost for you. The demons have become visible to everybody. How does this... Is this dragged everybody into Limbo then? Is that it? Or is it dragged all the humans into the Limbo?
Leave my brother alone. You okay, Dante?
What a pitiful cutscene.
You took your time.
You're welcome.
At least they look like brothers. But again, like every other boss fight, it's just jump between bits of land, hitting the weak spot until it becomes very vulnerable, then wail on even weaker weak spot. That's the whole boss. No, none of the bosses actually fight you in any meaningful way. in this game. The closest thing is Mundus's spawn, because at least it's like an enemy in the world. It's not just the world that's attacking it. Yeah, we got it. It said he's called Mundus. In case my face cam was fucking. Yes, there's two.
We can kill him now.
How did he not
Okay,
know?
just shut.
Never! Any ideas?
You see that eye of his?
Yes.
His demon child had something like that. We start there.
We'll have to get it open.
You're
Yeah,
an
we got it.
asshole. Keep him busy. I'll try and get the eye exposed.
Don't attack him. Just stay alive until I expose his eye.
What? When did you learn that, Virgil? Oh, I thought I was supposed to do something, but I literally couldn't do it, even if I'd wanted to. I couldn't see that either until it actually appeared, like as an icon to grab onto it because I was holding it. So. Virgil, when did you gain these abilities? Why didn't you use them when you were actually in danger? Why do you use them now? Why did the time stop now not affect Virgil?
Now, Dante! Get to the eye!
Punches him with the big dumb fist. I mean, it is nice that they use all the different weapons in the cutscene. Why didn't you do that earlier, Virgil? But here's, you know, like, I mean, yeah, I get it. He had all these abilities before, but he was deliberately not
Good
using
save.
them so that Mundus wouldn't find him.
He's showing
But
cracks.
there were a bunch of
Dante,
times when
see
he
that?
actively
Yeah, I
lost
see
a
it.
lot
He's still
because
in
he
there.
didn't use these abilities
We
when
need
he
to
would
get
have
in
lost
there and kill him.
very little from using them.
Come on, let's go.
Of course, the other kind of point is Mundus knew all along that I was the son, Dante, that is, was the son of Sparta, and I was a Nephilim. He threw everything he could at me, and I just killed all of it. What was Virgil hiding from? Why did he feel the need to conceal his presence
Why was
at
his
all?
body in there?
Mundus is
Surely
merged
the whole
with his
plan
physical
was
body.
just
That's why he's
send
protecting.
the sons of Sparta to kill everything
So if we
Mundus
kill his
had from
body,
now on.
we
So
kill
why don't
Mundus.
we both go and kill everything? Why is this the first time Virgil's actually fighting? Surely so many parts. In fact, why, if he's this strong, why did he even need Dante at all? Why didn't he just fight instead? Unless, of course, Virgil's actually comparatively weak and couldn't have beaten any of the other bosses on his own. But that kind of messes up the ending of this game. I don't know. It's... They completely threw everything out the window at this point.
No.
Virgil! No!
So why are you getting something, not me? What is that? What happened to Virgil in there? Was it nothing? Because his whole transformation right after this would have made more sense
What have you
if
done
something
to him?
significant had happened in there. Don't worry, Doctor, the answer is nothing. He did nothing to him. Okay. So, that a jump point conveniently appeared just as I needed it. Another one of them on each will probably do it. One down. I feel like styling on bosses is also way harder. Thanks for leaning in so I could grab your eye. If you were further away, that would have been really different. This shouldn't be a stupid fist fight. This should be in the DLC, showing bits of this fight and then cutting to Virgil, having a conversation with Mundus about power and what it means. And Mundus literally just talking Virgil into it. Not tricking him or manipulating, but making Virgil see what he always actually believed. Kind of God hand convincing Gurnet to join in type conversation. But where that Mundus isn't the Mundus here, because this is the real Mundus, right? Okay. How am I supposed to hurt? Look at that damage. Yeah, I was going to say this big Mundus thing would be the real Mundus. And then inside is the kind of, imagine it being like a corporate alternate personality type thing that's the bot that's like the shell that Mundus uses but has its own consciousness. And that's talking to Virgil saying, I don't care what happens to the world's finished either way, and the Hellgate's gone. But what are you going to do? Like, and just have like this really, you could have had a really interesting and easily written conversation in which Virgil would realise, yeah, somebody always is going to have this power because demons have this power. In order those people use that power to maintain it, which means hurting threats. Because I'm Nephilim, I will always be a threat. And so to protect myself and the people I love, I need to be the one with the power. Type thought. Kind of like old Virgil in many ways. And that maybe then with Mundus he kind of realizes how to unlock his own true potential, and or maybe physically kills and absorbs that humanoid Mundus and gains like an extra bit of power that then makes him think he can beat Dante, and so the actual fight is fine. I don't know. It's, something that isn't just nothing. Hashtag demons. They're everywhere. We have awoken. It feels like they were trying to get something to happen with that, whether it be like just a social media hashtag or whether it was maybe a sequel thing that they were going to put in. I don't know what they would, but they were definitely aiming for something on that. I got an A for the fight with Mundus. And that's the game over, guys. Yeah, we beat them, we won. And yet, because why the fuck not? Yet we have a level 20. How interesting. My problem with the combos that they're doing in here is that all the attacks are doing minimal damage for that attack. Like that trillion stabs did a fraction of the style I'm
Collapses
down to.
the real world. What was once hidden is now laid bare for all to see. Revolution is in the air.
I never believed I'd live to see this day.
It's the beginning of the end for the demons. Mankind will be free.
Yes. Free from the demons. Path is clear for us to rule.
What?
What did you just say?
The path is clear for us to rule.
Did you not hear me?
This?
This beloved kingdom you see before you.
You mean like Mundus?
No. We'll be nothing like Mundus.
How did this never come
We'll
up?
respect our subjects, not enslave them.
Subjects.
Normally when people are like saviors or revolution or something, they
I mean
talk
humans.
endlessly about the
They're
world
fighting
to
for
come,
freedom.
the victory they're going to achieve and what they're going to build. Did Virgil never mention once that he planned to be in charge?
Not yours.
Don't be so serious.
Because here, it's not like a, and now I have to explain it to them. It's like
They're
a,
like children.
what, you really didn't know?
They need protection. Not just from others, but from themselves. We, you and I have saved them.
You and I saved them?
Who else?
A human.
Cat was useful, but
Useful.
Cat saved my life. Cat held out under torture to keep your existence a secret. Cat led us through the tower to Mundus' lair. We would have failed 20 times over if it weren't for her.
listen. If you can't see the chaos that humans will cause, if you don't want the responsibility,
I don't
of
see
protecting
how they
them,
would have failed if they hadn't
stand
had Cap
aside.
and they just had Virgil and Dante
Don't
both
rule
fighting all the
I
time.
didn't help you
I
destroy
don't know how they
Mundus so
would
that
have
you
looked.
could take his place. I can't let you do this, Virgil.
I can't let you stop me, brother. Stand aside.
Don't do this.
Virgil, please.
Stay out of this!
I get that it's like a big clash of ideologies, or it's supposed to be a big clash of ideologies, but it doesn't seem like it's that urgent that they need to fight over it right now. It feels like this is a thing that they could have been like, we'll go our separate ways, but if you ever go too far, I'll like, type of thing. It doesn't seem necessary for them to have to try to kill each other right now. They could have just talked this out for quite a while before they got to this conclusion, if at all. And now again, why does Virgil think that he has any chance at all? He's been telling me all the way through the game that I'm not as strong as Dante, so I need you to do the stuff. You describe Dante as like the key to victory, the most important thing to beating monks. If Virgil could both do all the hacking stuff and was as strong as Dante, why would they need Dante at all? He blocked my attack and it sent him flying. And even now in the fight, he's getting the shit kicked out of him. Not just me, the player, winning the fight. Like Virgil himself is flying all over the place in the cutscene.
Don't be.
And yes, I'm sure he'd be doing more stuff while we're on a higher difficulty, but right now he's not doing enough. That's the first time he hit me. He's half health, and it's the first time he hit me. And look at him being thrown away.
It's not too late.
He's so much less intimidating than even the
Yes, it
rubbish
is.
bosses in the rest of the game. He hit me, and then my double trigger comes out. Oh, my battery's down. Oh, he's pulling out the devil trigger. Hold on a second, guys. I'll just go plug my controller in. You have to be fighting two of this boss for it to even hit you. That said, the camera work, I'm not making it look as good as it is actually pretty good in this fight. And I win! He's easier than the Drekavac. He actually is. He's easier than the Dream Runners. At least when they parry me, they actually hit me back. He just blocks me, and then I roll past him like a normal enemy. They also really should have played on the, like being the sons of demon and angel. Dante more demon-like and Virgil more angel-like. Because the colour schemes and stuff kind of imply that. The bearing that they both have kind of implies it. Like, you could have had a bunch of stuff of Virgil using his angel triggers and stuff at the beginning to, like, if that's how he avoided Mundus, by flitting in and out of the angel realm, while Dante could only go to the demon realm and therefore alerted Mundus. You know, something like that. And then by the end they both gain the invisibility. There's so many things you could have done with this, like, quite, I guess, small change. See, it just showed you, even then as kids, Virgil was weaker from the very beginning. Dante looks so stupid. His face is stupid.
You've chosen the wrong side. You're not human, Dante. You never will be.
I really don't understand what the contradiction is between their two approaches here.
I loved you, brother.
What's the difference between being the kind of Lord and the Lord Protector?
I don't know who I am anymore.
I know exactly who you are. You are Dante.
Is the difference that
And nothing less.
if humans start to destroy their own civilization, Dante will just let them, where Virgil won't? Is that the only difference? Because presumably, whether Dante has now decided to act as the protector, or Virgil acting as the king, either way, they're both going to stop any kind of other supernatural things from taking over. So what would Virgil do differently to Dante? Would he actually protect and guide humanity? Because... he grabs her ass, of course he does. Now we see a little bit of Ninja Theory in Cambridge, UK. Looks fun, doesn't it? You saw the there it is. You can't edit out of that footage. Stupid trilby they gave Virgil. They must not have known. No, they just leave it in. Like, you did it the first time. You knew what it meant. It was too much, but just you did it, so leave it. Don't try and hide it, especially when you can't hide it, because the internet remembers. As I said before, though, they have some amazing artists working at this company. And their mocap stuff's really good as well. They have, like, you can see full action, like, scenes acted out. It's why the cutscenes look so natural, I think. At least the kind of human interaction cutscenes look so natural. Also, I don't know if you can hear music, but for me there's just nothing. So that's DmC Devil May Cry. See that? Really good mocap stuff. That old black guy that we just saw was Phineas. They also obviously mocapped his scenes. My only problem with mocapping things like that is because they know it doesn't pick up quite as much. I think there's a tendency in these for the actors to sort of be encouraged to overact that makes the movement then look less real. That feels needless to have mocapped that, but yeah. Well done, team. Some of you did a really good job. There they are. Combi Christ, performing in the USA. I just have no interest whatsoever in that style of music. That's ridiculous. I had no audio whatsoever for that, but if I assume you guys did, but if you didn't, he obviously said, "My name is Dante," etc. It's now showing everybody who worked in the game in alphabetical order, regardless of what they did, it seems. So we'll see at the end, because it's nearly there. And they get the ninja babies. I'd like that they do that. I like that companies do that. Development pets, I think I prefer better than development babies. But yeah. So yeah, Dante was Tim Phillips. I'm just going to look and see if there's any names I really recognise. I don't think there is anyone I know in this. Richard Ridings was he multiple people? No? I don't know. Yeah, overall impression, that game's really good, but has a lot of problems. Alex Garland did a bad job of his story supervising. He could have supervised better than he did. Music people, if you like Combi Christ's music's alright, but the mixing's not great. The gameplay is fine, but not as interesting as the original game. Still fun, just a little bit easier. Supervising director Hideaki Itsuno, as he would need to be. I mean, that's the other thing, we don't know what this game would have been like had Itsuno not worked on it, so I've told the story multiple times now that he came in and changed the frame properties on almost every attack, and had a huge amount of like influence on changing the enemies' designs and stuff too. Like there was a point apparently where some of the enemies had big blades on their elbows and things, and they showed it to Itsuno, and he'd asked like, so how are they going to attack Dante with this? And he was told they're not. It's just a like cosmetic thing, and he just basically said, well, then take them off, like, because it's. And there was a bunch of stuff like that where he was just going through and altering every little bit. So it'd be interesting to see what the game would have looked like had he not done that. Had it just been pure Ninja Theory doing what they want. You can also find some of the early designs for Dante where he was more of a biker than a punk. Look those up if you're interested, they are ridiculous. They picked, as bad as the design was in a lot of ways, I actually like the alternate costumes a lot better. I think the alternate costumes actually look really good as a Dante. But yeah, the other design, but the one they picked was still the best of the bunch they had at the time. Yeah, the level design varies wildly between incredibly dull and extremely good. It seems an awful lot of energy, or at least more energy than you'd think, went on just alternate paths to the same place for no obvious reason. It's not wide, it's not a large enough area or convoluted enough to be Metroidvania-y, but it's not linear either. It looks like it was desperate not to be linear, but was still. Enemy designs are dull as hell. Nothing to say on them, there's just nothing interesting. The Dream Runners are the only thing that even resembles something interesting. And even then, enemies generally are awful in this game. The bosses, I think, look generally quite bad. Everything that you fight in this game is generic demon. That's it. It's like you could find 100 of them if you just Google image search video game demon. You will see every single one of them in every other game that has demons in. If you play Agony, you will see half these enemies. Characters are not nearly as interesting as they are in the original game. Across the board. I'm trying to think of any caveat to that. There isn't one. There isn't one. Should have been. Could have took the same thing but in a different direction. Didn't, just went in a different direction and went nowhere with it. Thematically, almost painful to look at. The kind of rebellious teen, fuck the man, fuck Wall Street and greed and capitalism bullshit is awful. It was horrible at the time, and it's just aged as badly as it possibly could have. Unreal Engine, Epic Games Inc. Interesting. It's not bad. It was obviously made with Unity, which is a perfectly good engine. It was a thing everything used for about a 5 or 6 year period after it came out. Which is why I think some of the areas with the colour schemes and stuff look a bit bland. It's not because they are bland, they're probably quite good, it's just that you're so used to seeing those colours because they're in every Unity game that it doesn't look special anymore. But that's because we're playing it 6 years after it came out. So. Overall, I still really, really like the game. I enjoy it an awful lot to play. It's easier, as I said, but still a fair bit of complexity. It seems like the complexity that's in it, though, is too complex to be, like, worth doing. Like, there's what they call the tyrants, the big baby guys that just run at you. You can switch to Eric's, do a big charge power punch to punch them into the air when they charge at you. It's kind of hard to get them to do anything else after that because they fall straight to the ground, and you have to time it perfectly. Because if you do it slightly too early, you'll just get hit, and if you do it slightly too late, you'll just get hit. When really, all you have to do is dodge slightly to the side, and then they just stand there, and you can hit them on the ground anyway. So it doesn't feel like the big, like, cool, high-risk, complex things in this have any kind of purpose or payoff to them that makes them worth doing. What the fuck is wrong with you people? is the album by Combi Christ, if anyone wants to know. Wow. But yet, where in the other Devil May Cry things, you could do, like, if you parried a boss when he was in his Devil Trigger form, you could, like, knock him out of it and stuff, which is a huge bonus, because you can't fight virtually in DmC 3 on the harder difficulties when he's in Devil Trigger, because he'll wreck you. So being able to pull him out with a high-risk thing, obviously you still don't do it because it's terrifying, but you try it once, and if you do it, pretty good. New costume unlocked, white hair down type. We kinda did that. New mode, must style. Enemies only take damage at F rank and above. So, most of the time that you're attacking them. And Son of Sparta, the new difficulty, with remixed enemy setup and behaviours. So I'm glad they do that. On the higher difficulties, you do actually get changes in their patterns and their placement. I have Son of Sparta. When I do that, I get Dante Must Die. After that, I get Gods Must Die. After I get Heaven or Hell, and then Hell or Hell. And I can always play hardcore mode. Style system rebalance, increased enemy damage, adjusted parry and evade windows, alternate Devil Trigger behaviour, and more. We have the secret missions. We have Bloody Palace, of course, in which you can disable the timer, which I like to because it's more fun. Must Style, like we just said, the same thing, and Turbo mode just increases the speed 20%. I can enable or disable hardcore mode also. See if we can see that extra skin that I just unlocked. Standard is white hair Dante, original is dark hair Dante. Notice his jacket becomes a tiny little bit lighter, and his skin becomes significantly lighter. That's one of the things that kind of annoyed people, that after all the stuff about how they changed the look and people are just mad to change the look, they didn't. It was all a lie. He eventually ends up like that anyway. And they should have just done Neo Dante from the beginning, because he's so much better looking than all the other costumes. Even the costumes that came out, let alone just the original. I may as well put another point into something while I've got it. Let's get Emily's step, because why not? And we're just going to have a quick look at the extras. Not bothering with the leaderboards or the stat. Let's see, that's 12 hours 17 minutes to play. That's fine. I've only played apparently 10 hours and 45 minutes on Devil Hunter. So I spent about an hour and a half in menus by the looks of it. Which isn't a great ratio, but hey. See some of this concept art, shall we? Big vagina face hunter. Doing them all on the difficulties in Triple S rank. Pretty nice, kind of wrecked and then less wrecked. All the ones I didn't bother to upgrade, I'm not going to. That looks more interesting than what they got, but still pretty much just what they got. That's just the same thing with Dante in a different place. But still, looks alright. That's just exactly what they ended up with. So was that, and so was that. They look kind of cool. But better than they actually ended up looking, to be fair. Which I suppose isn't fair, it's actually worse. I hate an ugly succubus. It's just a big disgusting insect. Disgusting insects are disgusting. If that's all you're going for, then good job. That's a really cool design. I think they realised it quite well as well in the game. I'll give them props on Mission 7. Mission 7 is a solid mission. Mission 8 is less interesting, but that room looks cool there. Again, it looks cooler there than it does in the actual mission. Phineas is fine. Again, it's kind of pseudo-Greek reference. I don't think Phineas had much. Was he the blind guy in Jason and the Argonauts? The guy who helps them when he's getting harassed by harpies. I think he is, isn't he? That they just took that. Bob Barber's just a guy in a suit that looks a bit like Bill O'Reilly. Why weren't they more prominent. They should have been. And again, that looks like a cool room, but it's just a big dumb fight area. Again, looks cooler there than it did in the main game. In the main game, it's just a room. Why wasn't Nightclub the Kiss? Why would we get more of this vision? This looks really, really nice. That also looks kind of nicer than what they got. That's just Lilith, exactly as she was. Again, just Lilith as she was. The hair looks a bit more like a Britney Spears or, you know, somebody like that. I think that's what they were going for. Yeah, Slumtown, it's fine, I guess. Glass elevators are always fun. We didn't get to see much of it because it was just an elevator at the end. That's the big building, right? Meant to be like a thing crouching down with wings. They look pretty nice. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks better than in the game. They should have made it more like concept arty. That's my overall thought having seen these. That looks way better than the game did. I don't even know what room that meant to be. Just gonna ignore it. Very Dark Souls 3, that one. The world collapsing in on itself at the end. Didn't see much of it in the actual game either. Probably did, but it was all behind Mundus. It's just man in suit Mundus. Looks fatter than in the main game. And finally Virgil with his complete with Trilby. And weird blue gloves for no reason. Weird blue surgical gloves. Let's check out the enemy design. Stygian. I think that's what they were talking about originally, that they had things like this, and then the elite Stygians eventually had something that actually does attack you. See, when you can't see it when you're fighting them because they just look like a mess of like black and metal. That actually looks quite cool. If they were like bigger, maybe if they were bigger and more mechanical looking and sounding, it would have been more sorry, would have been more impactful. But yeah, you can barely even recognise them like that. They have a human spine, I suppose, though, but it's just a spine. And they're all just so... I mean, they look kind of horror. I get Silent Hill features from them. In a game like Silent Hill, they might have been interesting. In a Devil May Cry, it's just generic enemy, then, isn't it? Why weren't there all these different variations that all did things differently? Where were those enemies? They look fun to fight. Maybe they are on higher difficulties. I don't remember. I don't think they are, though. I don't think they introduced new enemies. It's the same thing but smaller. Elite Stygian. Just the same thing with a bigger sword. That's all they got for Elite Stygian. Okay. Ravager. Just the same thing with a chainsaw. Hell Knight, same thing with a firing sword. You see it more clearly in this than when you're actually fighting them, because they do have like different attack patterns, but not. But you know, pattern's too strong of a word for what they have. It's just a flying baby, not nearly as interesting as the ones in Vale. A flying baby that's a bit more red than the other one. What was that? That was the Pathos, and this is the Bathos. It's just a metal flying baby. That's a bit much, as well. I'm glad they didn't put... Well, if they did, they might have. I don't even know. Yeah. It's a harpy. It's an angel-looking thing. The one on the right is more interesting, because it looks feminine in a much more meaningful way. Yeah, I'd have preferred enemies that behave a bit more human-like to be as demons. Maybe not the lesser Stygians and things that can just be generic enemy that runs at you and does swinging and, you know, flailing. Would have been nice if they had some other, like, flying based attacks or like seductive or sexual behaviours. Suggestive, at least, tones and movements would have been good. A pose like that, as if like getting them to run into an area and see enemies gathered sat like that then turn to look at you like that would have been a cool moment. But it's a shame that kind of thing didn't happen. Rages, let's see what these are. Just a rage, just a rage, just a rage, just a rage. It's just a big frost cat thing, that's all it is. It's a big frost cat. Tyrant, big dumb baby with tentacles in face this time. With and without tentacles in face. I genuinely don't know if it has the tentacle things in the game. I've just beaten the entire game in the space of a week. I don't know if it has the tentacles on it. I don't know if it's just an effect or if it has... I don't think it does. I think it's just an effect. But that's how memorable this enemy was. All of those are just the same thing, but with that spike on its arm. And a slightly different colour. That looks worse. I'll give them that this is better than that, but... like... the Centaur one is better. I'll get it up in the middle. And the others are just kind of a variation. The top one is just a Hell Knight as well. Top far right. It's top middle right. The others, I mean, they look a bit more giantish. Maybe that would have been... I mean... they should have stuck more with the Greek theme of having Greek monsters as different things. That Centaur one in the middle at the top looks really nice. And it would have made sense for them to charge at you more because they were Centaur. If they made them like the Centaurs in Drakengard 3 that are actually quite difficult to beat. Not just Centaurs, like Knights, or like mounted Knights. That would have been fun. I only have to kill another 27 to get all of the things. Maybe I'll do that someday. Not right now. Butcher. Interesting that they used to have the face in the middle instead of it being just a robot with a glowing orb. But that's all that changed, and it's still not very interesting to look at. The Dream Runner. Alright. That suddenly added like a load more lore to the character, a load more interest points to look at that art. Instead of it just being a person with a mask, it's now like an insect on top of a body, and the insect is driving it, and that it looks more childlike. Like innocent. That seems to have a lot of like meaning behind it compared to the final design. That's just kind of the Dream Runner. I could have got one more there, I don't know. Which, again, it's just kind of half sort of naked lady. Nothing wrong with that, but could have done more with it in how she behaved at least. Bit more of that would have been nice. Use the shadows as a kind of role, like boa thing, playing with it. That would have been fun. And the critters, as I mentioned, they look scary as shit here. They genuinely look threatening and monstrous, but they're just tiny and you can't see any of this. Obviously none of this detail went onto the final model, it was just a kind of robot spider, but it should have. And it should have been a big monster that you fight. There should have been like a handful of these that were huge. That's just the first one for now. Characters, let's have a look at Dante. Punk Dante. If his hair had looked like that instead of having just a little block at the back, it would have been better. It's actually kind of disheartening. I can't decide if that's really dumb or really good. I quite like the big hood, the Reaper hood. It would have been nice if they had little costume changes like that, depending whether you switch to the Angel or the Demon weapon. Like when he pulls out the Osiris, if he pulled that hood up so he looked like a Reaper, that would have been fine. Looks very, very feminine there. A bit too between me. There's him with his original colour scheme, with the original Dante's colour scheme, and looks better. Still looks dumb. I'm glad they didn't do that, to be fair. I don't think the red and the thing works on this character. Jacket looks fine. Yeah, they switched clear. That's what they should have gone with. That looks awful. Thank God they avoided that. That looks even worse. Although I do like the hands grabbing at you when you become more demonic, like trying to pull you into hell. That would be more fun. Could have had something like that as well, like maybe you build up your devil meter or whatever, and then you get more devil trigger powers, but the more you do, the more you're affected by, I don't know, 100 different things you could get, and there's his angel thing, doing the opposite of what I just said. See, they had these ideas. The things I'm mentioning, they had, that's a very clear devil and angel trigger, right there. These ideas existed, but they just didn't do anything with them. Nothing I'm saying is original ideas. They had them at the time. There's Cat as she was, still looking a bit weird with the eyes though. There's Cat with a hood. There's Life is Strange Cat. I'm glad they didn't do with that, but could have kept the ass though. I'm glad they didn't go with that. Why are her shoulders so big? Why is her body so weirdly proportioned on that? What is she holding? Is that some kind of violin? I like that one. Kind of punk cat. Punk cat's cool. The tight trousers too. Holding, I don't know what she's holding. It's a violin. She doesn't play a violin in this game, does she? Because she's holding a lot of violins here. That I think looks terrible. Looks like a Fallout character. That's clearly not finished. I'm not even going to judge that one. And then Ava, because I completed the game. Yeah, happy with that. That's what Ava should look like. I like Ava. We just wish she had more story. Don't zoom in on them. Alright, I mean... Are they moving or is it my eyes? They're not moving, are they? Look at Dante's goofy face. Why was Virgil weaker all the time? Stupid boy and teen Dante looks terrible. I wish they kept the one with him holding a gun to her. It was better. The finger gun just looks silly. Backstory. Okay. The backstory that never was. Yeah, that's the brothers, presumably. That's nice, actually. I like that picture. Two twins, yeah. Shackled by something. That looks really nice. I don't like the head, obviously, but the demon and angel sword being the symbol of the Nephilim, and one being kind of cyber, one being really like graffiti. They should have had that somewhere more in the game. That one's also pretty nice. I think I prefer the full corpse to the skull as well. That's a kind of mishmash of all what we saw before, along with this big corporate commanders. Which is fine. That, yeah. As graffiti, it's good. Just a wing. The demon wing. That we saw in game. We saw that on one of the big walls when in a cutscene. I mean, I know we saw most of these in the walls in the cutscenes, but we should have had more of them. That one, I think, got a good showing and is really nice. I don't remember that one being in it. It probably was when they explained the war between the angels and demons, but it looks nice. Looks very graffiti. Sparta was an octopus man. That would have been a fun twist. Instead of Bugman. Why was almost none of this in? Yeah. Weapons, ebony and ivory. Bit dull, but fine. Rebellion, again, thinner than I'd like, but fine. And it's probably the nicest of those. That one looks okay, I guess, but still very just Elder Scrolls. Oh, that's it now. Miscellaneous? Nothing rare. How odd. Environments. Yeah, I mean... that one looks pretty nice. I wish we'd gotten that in game. Saw that plenty of times. I'm still not a fan, in all honesty. That looks alright. Yeah, I like that. So is that. That colour scheme I prefer to the blue and the orange. I like this kind of green and amber contrast. I think that's better. Ambush. Onyx. The Eye. Giant. Mist. There must be more stuff on the higher difficulties that I've forgotten about. And we're back to the beginning. So that's pretty much everything that there is to see in DmC Devil May Cry, the base game. Obviously it's not, you can do it in all the other difficulties, unlock all that extra stuff. Here's the opening cutscene again, just to play out for you guys, if you don't want to see it. Don't watch. And this is what we're going to end on. So, that's DmC Devil May Cry. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I will be back to do the DLC another day. I don't know when yet. When I can be bothered, I will just up and do it. As you probably know if you're watching this, all videos on YouTube, because you're probably watching it there, so check us out. YouTube.tv/Games of Babylon. Twitch.tv/Games of Babylon.
No, this is not
if you're watching it on YouTube.
This is a direct one. Should you fail
And
to comply,
thanks a lot.
the collapse of the economy
I'll see you guys
will be
next
on
time.
your head. I will make sure that you are stripped of